Hello, beautiful people. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So, on this day, I was just going to have a regular meal for my family without filming. Then I realized that we had a power cut, no electricity. So, I had to grind everything and then I decided to vlog it. So, I divided my onions into two. Then I remembered that, hey, girl, you have no blender, no electricity. So I brought the onions out and cut them further. So I'll be adding my beetroot, some fresh tomatoes, add enough water and bring to a boil. I'll be grinding my onions, ginger, garlic and pepper, to which I'll add to the meat. So I'll be cutting them into small pieces to aid grinding. And to make grinding even more easier, I'll be adding a lot of salt. Besides, I need that much salt for my meat. So adding the salt to this made it actually easy to grind. But guys, something that takes less than a minute for you to blend. I used about 6 minutes to grind this manually. So once I'm done grinding, I'll just add in some water and then pour it over my meat. Now remember that steaming your meat should be the saltiest part of the soup, else the soup can come out tasting nice, but the meat itself will not taste nice. So I'm adding in some more salt, seasoning cube, white pepper and black pepper. You can add any spice at all of choice, and then I'll cover this and also steam it. Now my vegetables are all cooked, and so I'll be grinding this. Now you know that the tomatoes are usually very juicy and it is going to interfere with my grinding, so I'll use my tapoli. How do you call tapoli in English? And then I'll just use it and then strain all the juice out of it so that I can easily grind the rest. At this point, I'll be adding some tomato paste to the meat that I'm steaming, and then I'll just stir it well, cover it and be stirring from time to time. So I'll just go back to grinding my vegetables. Honestly, this is the first time I am manually grinding beetroot. I always use my blender, so I didn't know how hard this was to grind. So I had to separate it from the rest of the veggies so that I can grind it well. So I cut them into pieces to make grinding easy. So now I'm just going to add the rest of the veggies and then grind everything together. And guys, can you see the stubborn one? I don't know where it was hiding when I was grinding the others. Doing this makes me appreciate my blender a lot. Like, honestly, this was supposed to be a 1 minute or 2 minute blend with the beetroot, and I had to grind this for so long. So I'll be adding in, some water. This is the water that I use to boil the veggies, and then I'll be straining this and grinding it again. And beautiful people, can't believe that when I got to this stage, the lights came back on. And I was like, nah, I am going to go through with this. I will just grind this throughout. I've come this far. And so I just, continue to grind it and strain it so, I got the best of it. At this point, I think I've got the most of all my veggies. and this is all that is left of it. So I checked on my meat, the stock had taken around it nicely, and so to this I'll be adding my grinded ingredients, which is looking like blood of Jesus. This reminds me of my own story, beautiful people. There was this day that I got this inspiration to make red velvet cake with beetroot. I was so happy. So I went through with it, and the batter was looking all red and nice. But when it came out of the oven, my cake, which was supposed to be a red velvet cake, was looking like a yellow velvet cake. Anyway, so as I said, this was an impromptu soup, and all I had was this little, garden eggs. But at this point, you can add in your garden eggs and your okra if you have some, and then I'll be adding some fresh pepper to this as well. So as you can see, the soup didn't end up being red because of the beetroot. It's turned into this very nice yellow color, and then ta-da, my basil. Always in my soups. Yes, so I finished it off with that, and then I'll let it simmer at the very low heat. So I am going to talk you through this no pound fufu method. I had bought the plantain and I blended it with regular water, after which I washed the blender with the water with which I boiled the plantain, and then I am giving this a good stir. Now I'll add my fufu powder to this and then mix it. I'm doing this off the heat. I'll mix it thoroughly before I'll introduce heat. I've already shared a recipe to this, but then I didn't make a voice over and I had some questions, so I'm just talking you through this. At this point I have introduced heat, and then I was just driving it, but then it was too hard, so I decided to add some boiled water to it just to soften it. This for me is the best no pound fufu method because it gives it that fufu like texture. Yeah, so if I am making no pound, I use this method a lot. So once it is done, I just place some water in my asanka, and then I'll just be pounding this with my tapoli. I'll still be watching out for the English name of tapoli. I'll just pound it to make it look nice and presentable. And if you are watching up to this point, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, for enjoying this labor of love. This was hard work with me. I really do appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe to my channel. Kindly smash that like button if you haven't. So at this point I'm done. I'm just serving. See how some of the basil wrapped the meat, and then I'm just serving this. This is just to have a nice thumbnail, beautiful people. Yeah, basically that is all. That's why I'm carrying all this meat on this fufu. And then yes, back to reality. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Don't forget to smash that like button, and please subscribe. Stay safe and stay blessed.